close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. All right, everybody. Thank you and welcome to day 3. And let's get right into it. Here's Mandy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3. Woohoo! Okay, looks like you guys can see me and hear me, but let's just make sure real quick. Throw it in the chat. Yes and yes, you can see me, you can hear me. You are ready for my favorite day of the challenge. We're going over my favorite information. It's totally just partial to me. You may have a different favorite day, but it's my favorite day. Okay, cool. You guys can see me and hear me. Fantastic. So welcome back. Again, loved reading your guys' homework. I was trying to like as many of them as possible yesterday. Y'all are just doing a fantastic job with it. So it's so cool being able to hear a little bit more, peeling back the curtains. STRO killed it. I'm so glad that such a simple tool has already, as I promised, that it would do something amazing for you. So continue to use it. Don't forget about it. Write it on your mirror if you need to. It's something that every time you are triggered, it's going to help you move through it faster. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So today we're going to be talking about, we're going to get a little heady for a bit. Don't worry, I'll drop you back into your heart, but we're going to get a little heady for a little while. I'm very excited to talk about how to make income while making an impact while life coaching. And of course, we're going to talk about the mind. We're going to talk about the brain. We're going to talk about, for my left brainers who want to hear, like, why am I holding myself back? Yes, I feel the emotional fear behind shining my light, behind becoming an incredible coach, but like, what's actually going on inside of me just from a more rational level, if you will. So we're going to go over 5 proven ways to make money as a life coach. There are more than that, but I'm talking about 5 because those are the 5 that I offer in my program, but there's other things that we can also talk about there. We're going to talk about how to overcome money blocks that have been holding you back from experiencing that abundance, experiencing the opportunity, the freedom, all the things that we know that money can, of course, support us with. And then we're going to start learning how to release imposter syndrome, uncovering more of our purpose, and reconnecting with the part of you that is meant to guide others, just by being authentically you, okay? I want to start off the day with one of my favorite quotes. It is a tough one. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it is a very, very, very good one. And this keeps me going. This keeps me up at night, to be honest. Someone once told me the definition of hell. The last day on earth, the person you became will meet the person you could have become. I'll let y'all take a screenshot of that. We can throw that up there fully if we want. There you go. Take a screenshot. That one, even if you're like, whoo, that one hits a little too hard, Mandy. It's a little hard. Just imagine that for a moment. The person that you chose to become, whether that was someone who hid, who didn't shine their light, who didn't say yes, who just didn't live out loud, would meet the version of you that could have, or that did do all of that. No friggin' way, right? No way. So today we're going to talk about how to build a life coaching business. But first, let's address the most important thing when starting a business, our mind. We're going to keep talking about it every single day. So we'll start with the mind first, then we'll jump into the business training, because that stuff you're going to learn about the mind will probably support you when we start talking numbers and, you know, getting all crazy and stuff. And I always tell people this: if you want to have massive personal growth, become an entrepreneur. If you want to 10x that growth, be an entrepreneur in the self-help industry. Because in order for you to continue to thrive, you need to keep working on yourself, right? That is just the reality of entrepreneurship. It's almost guaranteed personal growth forever. So today we're talking about the triune brain. The triune brain. So we're talking about 3 parts, right? Obviously, in the triune brain. Now the triune brain, oops, sorry, we'll go backwards really quick. Go ahead. Let's throw that up just so you can see our pretty little graphic. La la la. Fabulous. Now, the triune brain is basically 3 different parts of the brain that work together. It works together to help you think, help you feel, help you act. Now, the oldest part is what we're going to start with first. We're going to start with the sabotaging one. That's what I would call it personally. Now, we're not going to hate it. We're not going to wish that it wasn't there. It has a beautiful purpose. But let's talk about that one first. And that is the what? Reptilian brain. It's like the brain of a lizard. It's going to help you stay safe. It's going to help you react quickly. If you feel scared or in danger, it's going to make sure you're taken care of. So again, it has purpose, right? Now, the middle part is called the limbic brain. Don't worry, we're going over these in grave detail. I'm just kind of giving you the roundabout right now. The limbic brain, that's like your feelings, your emotions, what makes you happy, sad, excited, everything. And the newest part, we'll call it the newest, the neo-cortex. That's your thinking brain. This is the one that helps you plan, helps you make good choices, helps you solve problems, right? I see everyone taking notes. Fabulous. But us knowing how these three parts work is super, super, super helpful if you're trying to start a business, trying to do anything important, trying to make a good decision in your life. When you understand that the reptilian brain might make you nervous, might even make you want to give up. I'm going to teach you some things here today so we can learn to stay calm, so we can keep moving towards that goal and not let certain parts of our brain stop us unnecessarily. And the reason I want to talk about this, because I really want you to see, if I had to put an intention behind it, it is so that you can see that you might just be wired as such. It is literally just a mechanism of your biology, of your neurology. It's not the essence of all that you are. So there are times where it's so appropriate to fall on, and there are times, which this is what we're talking about today, where it's just simply not. It's not the best way to go. It's not the part of our brain we should be using to make decisions that allow for our lives to get better. But when you understand the reptilian brain might make you nervous, might make you want to give up, you can start staying calm. We keep going, keep pushing forward, and we do get to our end result. And it also helps you be a little bit more patient, I think, with yourself, a little bit smarter about making decisions, because you know when you're feeling scared or even when you're feeling excited, it's just your brain helping you react. We all have to have STRO, right? We're going to react to stimuli, but which part of our brain is reacting is what we're looking at here today. So we're building upon yesterday. And when we react appropriately, we're better at reaching our goals, right? We're better at making our dreams come true. So in the reptilian brain, the keeper of safety, I call it, the guardian, if you will, right? It has a role. The role is your fight or flight system, basically. Primary goal is what? Survival. Survival. I'm here to survive. If I don't survive, then all the cool ascension things like being able to be a life coach and shining my light, no, that's not going to happen. We don't have time for that because we're in survival mode. But we have inappropriate let it cross over, right? I think we can agree with that. But when you think about starting your business, that reptilian brain is probably going to see it as a threat, because it perceives uncertainty and risk as a threat. So it might signal your body to feel unnecessarily anxious, maybe to feel restless, maybe to feel paralyzed. Again, fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. I know we say fight or flight, but there's actually quite a few more. Fun fact. So this might be that you hesitate to launch your website or launch your business because fear of failure triggers this ancient survival instinct. Again, wonderful survival instinct, not appropriate when we are trying to launch a website, but we're bringing it to the table. And so of course it's going to sabotage us, right? So I want y'all to think of the reptilian brain as the wise, it knows some stuff, but cautious grandma who's been with you since dawn, right? Like just helicopter parenting you. Don't do this, don't do this. No, 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 no. Its job is simple: to keep you safe. And every time you think about showing up fully as a coach, the reptilian brain is going to whisper danger, risk, failure. So it's kind of like the watchdog that signals, don't go out there, stay comfortable, stay hidden, we're safe in the cave. But here's the truth. That fear is just a shadow in your garden. It is a warning. It is not a verdict. Again, its job is survival, not success. So what do we want to experience more of? Do we want to be in survival mode for the rest of our lives? Cool. Well, then we know what we're doing. But do we want to be successful in our lives? Then the reptilian brain cannot be producing all the answers for us. It cannot keep running the show because it will not give us what we want. So I want y'all to recognize that this instinct is normal. It is to be expected. It would be odd to me if you started thinking about shining your light and being seen and being rejected and all of that, and you were like, it's totally fine. I'd be like, what do you want? I think we all need some of it, I guess. But otherwise, you're going to have a reaction to it. And that is normal. And actually, we should be grateful for that, right? Okay, my systems are working correctly, but it's not associating the risks appropriately. Does that make sense? So we want to use things like calming techniques, square breathing, deep breathing, parasympathetic breathing, mindfulness, massage. We want to take care of this threat response so it stops responding incorrectly. And when we start doing that, we're allowing for our neocortex, which we're going to talk about in like 5 minutes, we're going to allow for the neocortex to engage. That's what we want. And we'll know why in a moment too. So your job, when you start realizing, when you're STROing yourself, I would add in, when you go, what meaning am I placing? You could be like, what part of my brain is reacting right now? This is my reptilian brain. And then, of course, we'll talk about the limbic and what's happening there. And maybe we just take a deep breath and we go, thank you for protecting me, but I am safe and I am held in love. And that gentle acknowledgement alone sometimes can start to soften its grip. And that allows for our higher self, that allows for our authentic energy to gently step forward, which is what we're after. Now, research in neuroscience shows that when you consciously engage in calming practices, again, that's the deep breathing, the meditation, the mindfulness, even when you don't want to, because I know it's hard. I know when you're having, anxiety, you're like, breathing is hard, right? But you are activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So again, there's just a literal reaction occurring, and we have to also react back. Eventually, we become proactive about our reactions, and then they pretty much go away or they stop happening the same way. But in the meantime, we do have to react to it. When we do that, it counteracts the fight or flight response of the reptilian brain. And this is backed by studies from Harvard. They found mindfulness reduces activity in your fear center. So it's literally chilling out the amygdala. So we're creating more space for larger thought. We're going above the forest, in essence, and we can rationalize. We can have more meanings than the original meaning in which we placed. So for my left brainers, keep this one out there. Use it, use it, use it. All righty. So when fear surfaces moving forward, we're going to simply pause. We're going to take a deep breath. Let's do it right now. Let's go ahead and just see if maybe we're accidentally in fight or flight right now. Let's take a breath in. Let's hold it for a minute, as in 4 seconds maybe if you can. And then exhale really slow for 6 seconds. Now, if that was hard to exhale that long, you need to take a couple more breaths because you already know where you're at. That is like for birth, anyone who's given birth, I have a couple times, and breathing is like the one thing got me through all of my births. And if I wasn't in control of my breath, I knew that my brain was not in my birthing space. It was just that simple for me. So whenever you realize that if you're a shallow breather as well, just start practicing. Maybe every hour you're like, I'm going to stop and take a couple deep breaths. Because if I'm breathing shallow, if I can't get 4 seconds in, and even more than that would obviously be juicy, but if I can't take a big juicy breath in and slowly let it out, then I have something awesome in front of me, and I need to practice this a little bit more often. When I was 18, I used to have crippling anxiety, and it kind of came and went throughout my life before that as well. I remember it started when I was about 7 years old after a certain trauma. And it was crippling, y'all. And I'm just going to TMI because I'm a TMI person. I thought I was either going to die, because that's what panic attacks make you think, or I was going to shit my pants. Those were the two things that were going to happen to me. And the anxiety was terrible. It was so terrible. And I remember finally opening up about it. And it was to my mom at the time. I was like, I don't know what's going on with me, but I think I'm going to die. And then I just start panicking and I don't know what's going on. I can't go on movie theater. Like it was really weird. And she said 2 things. One, when's the last time that you helped somebody? Stop focusing on yourself so much. Thanks, Mom. She knew how I was naturally wired. And 2, she taught me to square breathe. And that alone helped me so much. So just breath. Think about it. The breath of life. It can do so much more than we realize. So as I go off on my Mandy tangent here, when we breathe more deeply, when we're aware of our breath in a calming way, we can breathe in and breathe out even more slowly. We're activating our parasympathetic and we're chilling the reptilian brain out. So maybe that is your new reaction when you're doing an STRO and you realize you might be in fight, flight, freeze, faint, or fawn. You can just start with the breath. Simple, simple, simple. And that'll become a default. And hopefully that'll pop you up into higher parts of your brain. So speaking of different parts of your brain, let's go to the limbic brain. The limbic system, the emotional barometer. Its role, it's kind of the part that governs emotions and memories. So you can see why we're talking about it today, because when we want to get out of the box, what do we have to do? What sits in the box? We've got to start working on our programming. We're going to start working on our beliefs, our debilitating emotions. Well, the limbic system holds all of that. So it influences how you feel about risk, how you feel about success, how you feel about failure. So it's going to hold you back. If you've experienced rejection or failure before, your limbic system remembers. It remembers those signals. It's going to amplify fear in the now. It's going to make your current challenge seem far more threatening than it actually is most often. So you might feel, for example, like a surge of self-doubt every time you think about launching or starting your coaching services. So you shove it under the rug because you're like, I don't know what to do with debilitating emotions. I don't have tools yet. So I'm going to shove that under the rug. I'm not going to get started. This is the place where your stories live. It's like the emotional landscape of your soul. So if you've experienced rejection, if you've experienced feeling not enough or shame or anything, low vibrational, your limbic system remembers those wounds, and it's going to be like an old storyteller. It's just going to repeat the tales of hardship. So think of it kind of like a candlestick. It's illuminating the shadowy corners of your mind. It amplifies your fears. My kids and I sit there and we do that. We do shadow puppets, and they're like, make me bigger, Mom. And so I move the light towards them. They get bigger. I move it away. They get smaller, type of thing. Just imagine that you're right behind yourself, just making everything seem like a big shadow. It amplifies everything. What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? And it feels so huge. But it's also giving you clues. This is a call to heal. This is a sign that you are growing beyond old wounds. I tell my coaches this all the time. When we talk about triggers, this is why I'm so obsessed with triggers. Y'all, triggers are not a bad thing. And I want you to, if you can, adopt my mentality. You can borrow it for today at least. Triggers, and even when the limbic system is reacting in an inappropriate way, I want you to be grateful for it, because it is feedback. It is feedback of exactly what needs to heal, of exactly what is stopping you from getting where you're trying to go. I teach this in manifestation as well. When someone goes, I want to manifest this thing, but everything's going the opposite direction, Mandy. I'm like, no, it's not. It's showing you everything that you need to figure out to get to the goal. These are the things that stand in the way. This is the version of you that you need to overcome because it's sick on the other side. So that's why I said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, when I experience a trigger, I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm almost excited because I'm like, life's about to get better. I just found another block. I have tools. I have a framework, so I know how to deal with the block. Obviously, that's important. I don't shove shit under the rug. But this is an important part of this process. It's a calling to heal. It's literally going, hey, here's some feedback. I know that you want this thing over here. Well, here's this part of you that we got to kind of elevate. We got to work on. We got to address. We got to love on. Nothing wrong with it. It's what we do with it that matters. So maybe we picture a delicate river running through our hearts, sometimes flowing clear and calm, sometimes rushing wild with doubt. And just as a river can carve valleys in stone, your tears, your fears are, yes, carved into your current neurological wiring. That's why you go straight to them. That's why STRO is so great, because you go, oh man, I didn't even realize how fast I went straight to my reaction. It was like knee-jerk reaction stuff. But it's also offering an opportunity to carve space for new growth. If you're compassionately meeting it, if you're getting curious about it and addressing it with newness, if you have the tools to move through it differently than you did before. So this is why we get curious. This is why we pour love into our fears. We have to drape our fears in understanding. Sometimes we got to reassure ourselves, right? Reassure our hearts with some gentle words. You are learning. You are becoming. I am with you every step. Maybe that's just like your soul or your divine power talking to you. So our solution to the parts of our limbic system that doesn't serve us is we need to develop emotional resilience by reframing our story. reminding ourselves that failure is a learning experience. We might use visualization, positive affirmations. That all can weaken old emotional triggers. We can start building new empowering feelings, and that changes us neurologically over time. And that's why people say it takes 31, 32 days to build a habit. Everyone's different. There's also brain pruning, which we'll talk about later. That takes about 90 days. But over time, you literally become a new person. How is that? Because you've wired yourself. You've literally rewired yourself over time. Neuroplasticity, which we talked about too. We can change. We can absolutely change. We have to actively work on it. And when I work with Olympic athletes, visualization is their superpower. They can turn fear into fuel so fast because they're often visualizing themselves winning. They're going through every little step. There's nothing they miss. They pour every emotion into it. They feel it as much as they possibly can. And the reason they do that is that it literally burns it into the brain as a memory instead of a hope. The brain goes, I did it, so I can get back to it. This is why I love visualization, of course. And we may not all be Olympians, but we can do the same damn thing. So the limbic system holds your memory and emotional patterns. So repeated exposure to things like positive affirmations instead of debilitating beliefs, new stories instead of old stories can literally change how your brain responds. It changes the R and the O and STRO. And research from Stanford University shows that repetition and visualization, imagine yourself like confidently sharing your coaching, doing that strengthens neural pathways. It makes new beliefs more natural over time. Just imagining yourself on stage, just imagining the beauty of it does unbelievable things for you. So every time you remind yourself, I am enough. My voice matters. You're training your emotional brain to believe in your worth. Think of it like polishing a gemstone, okay? Each positive thought, and it has to be a real one. This is why I'm kind of into affirmations and I'm kind of not. Don't say an affirmation that feels like a lie. Your brain's going to reject it. It'll push you further from it. So don't be like, I'm a billionaire when you look at your bank account and you're like, I am most certainly not by definition that right now. But you can say, I am in the process. I'm in the process of building my wealth. What is an affirmation that feels real and true and good and stretches you? Yes, absolutely. But think of it like polishing a gemstone. Each positive thought, each beautiful affirmation is like a buff. It's just going to reveal more and more shine. Your inner brilliance comes out. Let's talk about my favorite part of the brain, the neo-cortex. Now, the neo-cortex, its role is smart, it's strategic, it can plan, it can reason, and it can rationalize appropriately. Does that make sense? It's not going to see things better than it is. It's also not going to see things worse than it is. It's just going to see things as it actually is, which is what I love. And I think that's where people got this whole like thing on toxic positivity. Yeah, like there's nothing actually wrong with being positive. We need to kind of chill out about that whole like, don't be toxic positive. There's nothing wrong with being positive if we are embodying the positivity. But if we're like, I'm going to be positive and I'm going to pretend like life's okay when it's not, and we're just inviting more toxicity in and we don't take action and change it, I get it, totally. But otherwise, I don't care if I see things more positive or negative. I just want to see them as they are. That's what the neocortex is really good at. But it will get overshadowed. When the reptilian and limbic parts are active, your neocortex is like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. It's getting distracted. It's overruled. It's totally outnumbered. So it makes you doubt your abilities or makes you spiral into procrastination. An example of that would be you intellectually know that coaching is a great career. You intellectually know. Have you met someone who really intellectually gets it? They've done a million programs on things and like they spew it, but you're like, why does your life look like this? This doesn't make sense, right? They intellectually understand it, but emotionally, they're still stuck. So you know coaching's a great career, but emotionally you're like, but I just can't get past this little block. Your limbic system or your reptilian brain, that's what's going on. You're living there. So for everyone, I know on my VIPs, I've been like, just wait till day 3. Sorry. When you're like, I just can't get over that last little hump, you're just not in the right part of your mind often enough. You're living in fight or flight because you're in constant protection mode. Of course, there's very limited information there. The only thing you're thinking about is survival. So our solution is we need to engage the neocortex. We want that to start running the show. We need to start setting clear, small goals and making plans because the neocortex loves that shit. Clear, small goals. Make plans for the future. Taking the action that is aligned with your goals. So important here because then we'll carry through with it. And over time, we disprove what the limbic system or the reptilian brain is telling us. And then it starts to shut up. It starts going, all right, I guess you kind of got it. I'll hang back for a moment. I'm ready to jump in. Throw me in, coach. But it seems like you kind of got it, right? Things are working out quite well. So when you combine your logical intentions with emotional self-awareness, oh my gosh, you create such a powerful synergy. You are making action feel less overwhelming, and you are making the right decisions. The neocortex, the beautiful architect of your ideas and your dreams, is the part that whispers, yes, you can. You are capable. Your gifts are needed. It's like that gardener. I know we've been talking about gardens. It's the gardener that's planting the seeds of possibility, and it's doing it with thoughtful care. It's doing it with vision. It's doing it with true rationale and understanding of how a garden works, right? Because here's the truth. Your neocortex, in my mind at least, is the authentic voice that holds your purpose. The neocortex can hold your heart-based calling, almost like it knows what your soul is saying. So kind of the secret to all of this is when you quiet the fear, when you open your heart and invite in your creative spirit to sing, your inner wisdom begins to bloom. You take one small step, you write one line, you share one story. I know a lot of you already chose an action yesterday. You allow your inner self to know that they are capable, that they are deeply capable. They may not have all the tools in this moment, and that is also normal and okay. And that is not a sign that you are unsafe. This part of your brain engages in logical planning and envisioning your future. So it's going to help you get there. We don't need to be there. The reptilian brain thinks, well, we need to be there right now. I need a cold, hard proof right now, or I'm not going anywhere. And that's impossible, right? The neocortex knows we need to plan. There's some steps we need to take, buddy. Hold on a second here. So according to Dr. Daniel Goleman, he wrote Emotional Intelligence, Creative Visualization. So I know some of y'all people, sometimes I hear them, I can't visualize. And I'm like, you can. You probably just shut that part of yourself off. That's okay. You can feel it for now. There are different ways, and there's absolutely, like, it's a real thing, not being able to visualize sometimes. But I've also seen that get disproven. Anyway, you can feel through it. You can draw through it. One of the activities I have people do in one of my books, The 8 Secrets to Powerful Manifesting, is we draw. We draw ourselves 6 months from the day in which we draw ourselves now, we draw ourselves later, whatever. Powerful as well to visualize. Then you're throwing it down on paper. That's still a visualization. But regardless of how you do it, get creative with it. Creative visualization fuels motivation, and it creates a neural pathway that links your desire with your capacity to take action towards it. That's science. So when you write down your goals, let alone drawing them, I know I'm bringing seemingly, when I teach manifestation, I'm really teaching life coaching and mind work. Obviously, I think you can see they actually can go hand in hand because we're not doing magic wand stuff. We're doing real manifestation rooted in that stuff. But when you write down your goals or you draw them, you're activating not only your neocortex, but also the brain's reward system. So we're releasing dopamine, the chemical of motivation, the chemical of pleasure. And that's probably for my list takers. If you're like, I love lists and I love crossing them off, that's because you're getting a dopamine hit, probably. So taking small, manageable steps like posting in the Facebook group, commenting in the chats, signing up for something that helps you grow, it sparks momentum and it gives you a reward right away. And if we are nothing else, we are dopamine chasers. Let's chase the right stuff instead of doom scrolling or addiction or, all the other things that we have to go through in life. So journal your intentions, okay? Journal them, write them down. This taps into left brain clarity and right brain imagination. The more parts of our brain online, the better the results. So this reinforces our commitment and it makes success feel real. Kind of yesterday when I said the faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain, right? We want success to feel real. We want to feel like it could be no other way. Not maybe, maybe not, but yeah, maybe I don't know exactly when, and I'm willing to surrender some of the details that parts of me are like white knuckling and want to know. But I know I'm headed somewhere good. That, whew, that's powerful. That anticipation, what that does for your energetic field as well, the anticipation that good things are on the horizon, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And you'll become someone who looks for the good, who finds the good, who makes the good. One of my other favorite quotes, which I don't have a thing for, I'll just riff off of it. 99% of people, and I'm saying this to y'all too because you guys have made some action steps yesterday. You're going to make some more this week. You're probably going to make some big decisions, especially if you think about joining my program or anything that you're thinking about right now. 99% of people will make a decision, and then they will spend all of their energy afterwards freaking out and wondering and stressing if it was the right decision. But 1% of people will make a decision, and they will spend all of their energy afterwards proving that it was in fact the right decision. Who are you going to be, right? So overcoming the brain's resistance, let's acknowledge it. Let's be mindful about it. Let's recognize when fear and doubt and overwhelm appear. I want to know. It's okay. I'm experiencing the feeling of being scared, but I am safe. I realize I'm in my reptilian brain, but I also have my neo-cortex available to me when I start deep breathing, or fill in the blank, okay? You can call it as it is. Don't own it. We don't have to I am it. But you can also say, this is what's really going on underneath the surface. I would normally run from this feeling because it's very uncomfortable. But again, life's not so scary when we stop running away from it. And when we have tools, it actually gets interesting. It was actually interesting for me to start throwing some of my traumas up on my whiteboard and all the triggers and stuff and be like, oh, no wonder I do that. No wonder I attracted that. No way. This is really good to know. So instead, we get to face it. And it's not so scary. So we practice the mindful breathing. That helps us get into our neocortex. Again, maybe we need to do it again. Let's inhale for 4 seconds. Maybe if you want to hold it for a second, and let's let it go. And we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, and we calm our stress response. Whenever you find yourself in some form of fight or flight, aka you are triggered, slow it down. Before you take action, before you make a life-changing decision, take just a couple deep breaths. You are allowed to have 10 seconds before you speak, 10 seconds before you react. But make sure what you do in that 10 seconds bops you up to your neocortex, okay? Deal? All right. And we've got to rewire through repetition, okay? Because the brain's still going to resist for a while. It's going to want to slap you back into those older systems because, again, neurological pathways there. Have you ever seen like pathways if you go on a hike, or maybe as a kid you were lucky enough to live in like a meadow? At one of my kids' schools, there's this beautiful meadow, and you can see where the kids go every day. There's just this beautiful little trail. That's your brain. Over time, you walk it, it's going to get easier to walk. There's nothing standing in the way. And then you're like, well, if I need to get there, I'm just going to go this way, right? Usually we do that incorrectly. Usually we wire ourselves incorrectly. So we got to rewire it. We got to retrain it, which means it's going to take a little bit before you go, oh, well, here's this really windy one, and it looks like I'm doing a little loop-de-loop, but that one's a straight shot where I want to go. That one has a few more weeds, though. Which one am I going to do today? We have to retrain it, okay? So every small success, so speaking your truth throughout the day, taking uncomfortable action, is retraining your reptilian and limbic responses. It's turning fear into familiarity. So again, I love my metaphors. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. Each attempt, each time you get on there without training wheels, it smooths out, right? You stop wobbling so much. You start building confidence over time, and then you're flying down the dirt road like my teenager does and scares the absolute bejesus out of me. So ask yourself this: what is one small step I can take today? Or what's the evidence that I can succeed? Again, I didn't have incredible role models doing what I'm doing today. I had to look on YouTube. I had to read books. I had to find someone where I was like, I didn't get to hear about their trials and tribulations, but I was searching for them. And now everyone talks about it more, thank God, right? You're like, oh, okay, like you've been through what I've been through, or yeah, like I have the same thought as you. I have imposter syndrome too. You're going to talk about it? Thank you. Yes. It makes it much easier, much more tangible, right? These questions shift your focus from fear to curiosity and possibility. And as I hope I have seen and harped on enough, when we are sitting in fear, it's low vibrational. Curiosity is vibrationally higher. It's more neutral. And it's on our way up to things like enlightenment and joy and happiness and all the juicy stuff in life. So a little bit of research behind this, just questioning, just getting curious. Questioning methods are used in cognitive behavioral therapy. I think most of us know CBT or you've heard about it at some point. We use that to reframe negative thought patterns. And remember, you're going to be doing that a lot as a coach too. You will see me so often. One of the biggest things that people say I'm good at is I will look, I'm like hunting down. It's probably like the old, I'd be a really good girlfriend. Like, you know how your girlfriends who are like, oh, let's see what he's up to. And you're like a PI for your friend. I would probably be really good at that. But thankfully my friends date good people. Totally that. Curiosity, those questions, being able to ask really good questions. I am constantly looking for inconsistencies in what someone says because I will beautifully use it as leverage to help them get the shift. I am looking for contradictions, basically, because so many people contradict themselves and they don't even realize it. They're just talking and they're contradicting what they just said. They're like, no, I'm so ready to go, Mandy. I'm so ready to make this happen, blah, blah, blah. And then like, but this week I'm just like so swamped and whatever you're like, And so over time though, we see, oh, that's just us literally toggling between parts of our brain. Very normal thing to happen. We just need to know what to do with it, right? All right, so let's kind of recap all of this. I love that there's so many ahas happening. I told you it's my favorite day. I get so excited about this. And then I start talking really fast. I'm sorry. Slow it down, Mandy. When the reptilian brain feels threatened, it's just trying to protect you, right? It is the overprotective guardian. Thank you, reptilian brain. We love you. We hear you. There's no saber-toothed tiger right now. Come out another day. Or what I told someone once when I was coaching her, which you guys will see as a case study in EME. Thank you, mind. My heart's got it. Thank you, mind. My heart's got it. Now, the neo-cortex and your soul hopefully remind you, growth requires discomfort. Fear is a sign you're expanding. You're escaping the box. Is it even fear or is it excitement? Is it the unknown? Yeah, right? And studies in neuroscience support repetition and mindfulness can rewire these ancient brain circuits. And over time, it diminishes their grip. And that's what we want. We don't want it to go away. We just want it to operate properly, right? So spiritually, embracing fear as part of your growth journey, because it's absolutely going to be there, absolutely going to show up. Fear is a part of our journey as human beings, as souls. It is a divine component, but we're dealing with it with only the human parts of ourselves. The wrong part of us is handling something. We have been so blessed that I know for everyone here, even if you've been in difficult times and you've had to have someone buy your food or whatever, you have a computer or a phone in front of you, so you don't have those problems. Now, of course, I feel we have a duty to help people who do have those problems, but you're not in primal state to that level most often. You might feel that you are, but what if you weren't? Or what if you don't have to be anymore? So embracing fear as part of our spiritual journey allows for us to transcend survival, and then we can live in our purpose. So your brain's architecture, the triune system that I just shared, is designed to ensure your survival, but on multiple angles depending on how we use it. But here's the thing, true success in life, what each of us are after, comes when you train and reprogram these parts to serve your higher goals. Nobody taught you this. It is not natural for us to know this. It is an active thing we must do today and moving forward. So recognize when fear arises and also recognize it's your reptilian or limbic system speaking. Calm those signals. Okay? Let's take a breath because we're about to shift gears here. That's my favorite part of day 3. I just love it. Triune brain, right? Thank you. Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk about, okay, shifting gears. And again, remember what we just talked about, because it's probably going to show up today and you're going to be like, oh, I'm trying to process this while I'm in my reptilian brain. No wonder I can't hear what Mandy's saying. Today, I want to talk about 5 pillars of a successful life coaching business. What do you need to succeed? Cool? All right. Let's rock and roll, shall we? So think of building your coaching business as a beautiful, sturdy house. Okay? It's your home. You must have strong pillars to support it. And every pillar is completely essential for stability and for growth. And if you wanted to be, very architecturally sound as well, for the beauty of it. Because your coaching business isn't just a service. I want you guys to start thinking about this. We're going to talk about the definitions of words that I use in a little bit, but it's not just a service. It is your own included. So to do this effectively, the foundation must be sound. It must be intentional, and it should be aligned with your purpose and your authenticity. So today I'm going to go over the 5 pillars of business that allowed me to grow my business from 0 to over 20 million a year. Cool? So number 1 is mindset, of course. Hello, I'm just annoyingly so I keep saying this, right? Mindset, mindset, mindset. We're going to talk about each one. Don't worry. Pillar number 2 is a business model. Absolutely. We do need a business model. Most of us try to write business plans or have crappy business models that don't serve our lifestyle and our desires, and so they don't work. But we do, in essence, need a business model. So I built one that kind of fits into everybody's desires. Pillar number 3, transformational curriculum. Of course, if we can't get results, we can have the greatest mindset in the world, but it's not going to move things forward for our clients. Pillar number 4, how do we let people know we exist? How do we attract clients? How do we serve the world? And pillar number 5, mentoring and support. How do we provide that, as well as how do we get that? Because we need it all. So let's talk about pillar number 1, your mindset. What does that mean? As a coach, you are your brand, okay? Your mindset directly impacts your ability to attract clients, to handle challenges, which will inevitably show up, and to sustain motivation. Your internal narrative, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about money and success, will shape your external results. Every time. That's why when people are like, I have great beliefs, Mandy, my life just isn't reflecting that. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's just not how this works. Unfortunately, there's a block that we have to address. And the prefrontal cortex, which is like logic and decision making, is shaped by your beliefs and your self-talk. So when you believe you're capable, you're activating neural pathways that support confidence. And conversely, limiting beliefs activate the amygdala, triggering fear and hesitation. So when I get to the point every day where I'm like, hey, I'm talking about my program, or you're thinking about a time in your life when you were about to jump into shining your light, you're like, you can just go, am I triggering my fear system or my logical decision-making system? Am I in the reptilian brain? Am I in the limbic? Where am I, right? And food for thought, don't trust any thoughts. Don't make decisions when you're in your reptilian brain. I know it's hard to sit there. I know that it feels a little painful, but if you can just get curious, you're almost dropping the neo-cortex into the reptilian brain and siphoning out some stuff. You're able to sift around and go, oh, okay, we can heal this. But don't make decisions in those spaces. Okay? Not a good idea. And Henry Ford said it best, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. You are right. Either way, like it or not. So think of your mindset as the soil in which your business seeds are planted, okay? Rich, positive soil yields lush growth. We're going to harvest big. So it's kind of a practical tip here, but we need to cultivate a growth mindset. right? It's not about us having a perfect mindset. It's not about nothing rocking our boat in every single moment. That is a need for control, and that is living small again. We're back in our box, okay? We live expanded, and we have the tools to deal with life as it comes at us. So we see failures as feedback, okay? It's like entrepreneurship 101. You will absolutely fail at some point. It will not be scary. It will be okay. I remember I launched a program. It was called the Authentic Body. I wanted to also incorporate under authentic living, like how do people love their body and blah blah blah. Nobody bought. No one bought. Actually, one person bought. She wanted a refund a couple days later. But I had invited people into it already, like friends and family, to kind of like fill it up because I was like, all right, well, I'm doing it anyway. It was technically a failure. No, it was a learning opportunity. I didn't want to talk about health. So it steered me in another direction, thank goodness, because I became far more successful in other areas. So I'm glad that that didn't work out. But I could have went, oh, well, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be a coach, because that was very early on. Not true. Practice daily visualization and reframing with STRO so we can rewire neural pathways for success. Again, pillar number 1, mindset, have a successful mindset. Just growth alone, okay? It's not like every single day I get up and I'm a warrior and I'm going to win. No, some days I'm like, I'm going to lay here and take care of myself because otherwise I'm going to lose it. That's also growth mindset to me. If I do that every single day, that's me choosing to be stuck. But life's a cha-cha. All right. Pillar number 2 is your curriculum. The unique coaching framework in which you use to help others. Your curriculum. Your curriculum distinguishes you from other coaches. Okay? It's your signature dance. It is your unique way of guiding clients through transformation. Clients aren't seeking advice. At least that's not the only thing they're seeking. But they are also seeking, whether they know it or not, a trusted process that delivers results. And that's why my certified practitioners love my modality. I think that's why they do well, because it's proven. It's accredited. They can lean on it. They can use it to change their clients' lives. And what separates regular coaches from excellent coaches is a fantastic curriculum. Instead of winging it, you have curriculum. You get results. And from a psychological perspective, humans crave clarity and structure, do we not? It's probably why we created the concept of time. Our brains seek patterns to feel safe. Sometimes we seek the incorrect patterns, but regardless, we're looking for them. So a clear curriculum just helps your client make a better decision or a faster decision on working with you because they see that there is a pattern. So a clear curriculum is creating those patterns. And it also makes you more confident. And from a neuroscientific perspective, repetition and consistency within that framework will activate neural circuits in your client's brain. So it's reinforcing change. Because if you've got a really good curriculum, you're going to start having a lingo with your clients. You're going to be able to be like, boom, 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 boom. I'll tell you what, when I'm working with someone that I have never worked with before versus someone I've worked with for 6 months, you better believe that 6-month person shifts in 5 minutes. Not just because I know how they're wired, but because we're speaking the same lingo, we're working out the same curriculum, right? So I'm getting them to their results faster. Just makes sense. And Peter Drucker said the most effective way to learn something is to teach it. So your curriculum is also a reflection of your mastery, which is why I make everyone go through the curriculum as a student as well, because you will be a master much faster. Oh, that rhymed. I love when they rhyme. So imagine your coaching framework like a map, okay? It's a map that is guiding clients through uncharted territory, helps them navigate danger, helps them celebrate victory. You need a map. Pillar number 3, your business model. How are you going to deliver this coaching, right? Are you just going to get on a call and go, so what you working on? I mean, every once in a while I do that now. But don't be like me. In the beginning, you need to have a structure. What if they're like, they're really quiet and they're like, I don't even really know, or I'm working on this one thing. And then you're like, all right, I'm running into a wall here. And then you start panicking. You jump into your head instead of your heart. And now you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get the shift. No, we don't want any of that. We want to make sure we're delivering our coaching appropriately. Okay. So we also need a business model to know how we're going to do that so that the client also knows how we're going to do that. So let's talk about a couple different income streams here. Okay. Again, we're just going over 5 that I like, if you will. So really quickly though, I want you to remember this. When you think about all of these different ways in which you can build income, some may feel a little bit funky right now. Some may feel a little bit new. Some may feel a little bit scary, but all of them are so wonderful. I remember one-on-one coaching I loved, and I still love to this day, because you know you're going to get results. You get to work with one person, you get to see the massive results that it creates. It's fun, it's intimate, you know, sometimes, especially in the beginning, it helps your nerves calm, because you're like, everyone's not watching me, you know, it just feels different. But eventually you're going to be like, I want to do group, right? I like group coaching. That can be done virtually or in person. I love group coaching. That's my favorite way now, because I can shift more people at once. In the VIPs, when I'm talking to one, I know I'm talking to 1,000 others too. Even though I'm only working with one person, there's other people who have the same thing they're working on. So I know I get to help more people at once. The VIP days, I talked about that, y'all. I love that because you condense the time frame. Because I'm really into manifestation, I like things to be done fast. I don't want to sit in pain. I don't want it to go slow unless it has to. So I have seen, obviously, we could rewire someone's brain in 2 to 4 hours, clinically speaking. So I know people don't have to sit in pain. So why do it if we don't have to do it, right? If someone wants to shift slowly, great, we'll do that. But there's a lot of people who are like, condense that. Sucker it all in one day. Get me 6 months ahead right now. Bend time, because time is of the essence. Absolutely. VIP days are super fun. And you got workshops, digital programs. I love workshops, of course, something like this, because everyone gets to take something home. You know, you don't even know how many people you touch. Like, it's so cool when you're walking around and someone's like, oh my gosh, I saw you. I did this, you know, challenge, blah, blah, blah. Like, can I have a hug? And all that stuff. And this thing you said changed it. You're just like, this is so cool. This is so cool that I got to touch you. And, you know, usually you'll know all of your clients. But if you're doing thousands upon thousands of people, over time you might not. And so it's so cool that you get to go, all right, I get to help lots of people at once. And I know they're taking something home with them, if you will. And digital programs make money while you sleep, obviously. Get the result every time. You film it once. You film it in a really high vibration. You make sure it looks perfect. Bada boom, bada bam. So as a reminder, let's go over the income streams. One-on-one is the fastest way to start. Okay? Everyone's going to start with one-on-one, and you should, I would say. If someone starts immediately in a retreat, that's really cool. I would be very curious about their coaching abilities and what's going on there. It's, I guess, possible, but usually you're going to start one-on-one. Fastest way. Group coaching will help you leverage your time. VIP days, high ticket. High ticket means you can charge more because you're getting accelerated results. What someone would pay 6 months to you for a meeting an hour a week, you just basically throw all of that into one day. So you can justify a higher cost, as long as, of course, you can provide the result. Workshops are also typically high ticket. I know mine is free here. Don't use that as an example. I have the ability to do that because I've done it for so long. So I know I know my numbers, if you will. This helps you leverage your time. And my favorite part, you leverage the power of group momentum. Have you not been inspired by someone here? Whether it's a post, something that someone has said, myself perhaps, I don't know. Yeah, right? And digital programs, hands-free, automated income. Digital programs usually do come last because you need quite a bit of knowledge at that point to be able to make those happen and make those happen in a way that people are going to want it, so you can get that income coming in. But it's awesome because it's time freedom all the way. Now, let's talk about a sample business model of a life coach, okay? I'm going to slow this one down just in case it gets a little confusing. This is just based on my experience and some of the life coaches in the industry. So I just want to remember, disclaimer, this is not a guarantee of success. This also might be far less than what you're going to charge. Success, though, takes action, okay? It's not just, if I do this, this is what it equates to. It takes action. It takes dedication. It takes work. You have to work on yourself. You have to hear things about yourself sometimes and things about your business structure and blah, 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 that are going to have to move and shake and shift. So, but this is just an example of what is possible because you need to see what is possible. Again, you might do more, you might do less. So let's just talk about the one-on-one business model, a way that you can play around with this. Typically speaking, in order for you to be able to get someone into a one-on-one, experience with you, coaching, digital, however you're going to deliver it, let's just say that you have a presentation, okay? This is for part-timers. I know this was a question in our VIP, I think, a couple times. For part-timers, let's say that once a month you do a presentation and you invite 10 people to it. Now, based on years of research, on average, 20% of those 10 people will actually enroll, right? So let's just say 2 buy, and you're charging $2,000 for your one-on-one, whatever that looks like. Now, I'm going to insert here my curriculum, just because it makes it easier, after you need to deliver. So you do your presentation, which is the free information, basically. You're going to talk about what you offer. Then you need to be able to enroll those folks. So in some way, you're going to have a strategy session. This could be a discovery call, as I invited y'all to yesterday, a clarity call. This is going to be the, here is what I have to offer. Let's see if this is something that is in resonance with you. This is your first coaching call. It's not a sales call. We don't even sell. It's your first coaching call. I did all of my own coaching calls in the very beginning, my enrollment calls when I launched something. So I'm very familiar with this process, of course. In fairness, my conversions were much higher than this, but I was also the creator of the program, right? And let's say that you are doing my content, then you go into coaching mode. So those 2 people at a time buy, you need to have something to deliver, right? So then our content, Authentic Living, would deliver it, or you coach them through your own content. But they need some structure, right? That's usually how it's going to look. It's not just like, let's meet and just talk every time. You need curriculum. Now, as a part-timer, let's say that you take 2 months off as well. So you do the 10 months of one presentation a month with 10 people each, and they are paying $2,000. You're making $40,000 a year, part-time. Part-time. Again, this is just annualizing. This is just, what's possible, what I typically see. But it could be more, it could be less, it can be everything in between. But we have to talk about what's possible, right? Okay, cool. Now let's go into a retreat model, just because I know some of you are interested in that, and it is an income stream. It is an income stream I also offer. I offer a total done-for-you service in those regards of how to launch all that and blah, blah, blah. Typically, though, for someone who's just going to take my free information here, you need about 90 days of marketing. You need a 90-day marketing business plan, okay? About 90 days of warming up folks so they know who you are, they know what you have to give, they know that you can provide a result, they like you. They want to invest in what you have to say, or you can join with me in EME, and then we give you the proven plan to follow what I do, what I did for 10 years. Now, after you do that marketing, then you need to actually launch the event. That's where you invite people. And let's say that you invite people via social media is, how we do things nowadays, right? Maybe in your communities, but the way I teach it is via social media. And 40 people reach out. They want to go in person, or maybe you're doing a virtual retreat. Like this totally, I could have charged y'all for this, right? My VIPs, you guys pay, like, I don't know what you pay, but it's, in essence, you can do something online is what I'm saying. They're beautiful online retreats, but you could also do in person if you're like, I really want to go to Costa Rica, so I'll just tack on some extra travel days there. I don't know. But let's say 40 people reach out, okay? 20%, we'll go to 20% again. 20% of them enroll, so 8 people buy. And maybe you're charging $2,000 a person. That was my beginning cost. I would charge $2,000 for 2 days of a virtual event, and I would cap it at 30 people. And I started at 6 people. That's the most that wanted to enroll in my very first event. That's still a super win, by the way. And then it eventually went, higher and higher. And then I was like, okay, I need to put 15,000 people in a room. We need to do this online. This isn't working, right? Let's say that 8 people buy, you've made $16,000. And if you're doing it online, you're going to probably keep more of that as profit. If you're doing it in person, if you're going to be traveling, if you're going to include food. Again, those are all conversations that I have with y'all and we talk about in the business plans that we include. But I won't talk about that today. But let's just say 16 grand for the sake of simplicity. And then you're going to launch that event fully. You're going to use, again, if you're working with me, or you're going to use your own templates. You need to have exercise. You need to build that whole sucker out, and you need to make sure that you get results, because there's no going backwards on it. It's not like, okay, we'll try again next week at our next coaching session. This is a retreat. Everyone's in front of me. This is the moment. So you can also use my templates, follow my exercises, get the results. Everybody's happy. And of course, you should trickle, even if you're using my stuff, you're going to trickle in all of your authenticity. If you're like, I want, sound bowls during this, area of like a fill in the blank. I want this, we're going surfing here. We're going to do, we're bringing in the horses at this moment. Like that. Cool. Absolutely. There's room for that too. There must be, because you need to sprinkle your authenticity. And let's say that every 90 days you're working on a new retreat because you realize, I love retreats. I'm in the retreat business. I'm a life coach, but all I do is retreats. I don't even do one-on-ones anymore because I just love the live in person. I want to hug people. I want to look at their faces as they shift. It's just so special to me. That was me for years. I really became an events-based business because it's so rewarding. If 40 people consistently reach out, so it's 180 total, you guys can do all the math, blah, 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 blah. That's $64,000 a year. And you're going on 4 trips a year, or you're doing 4 virtual events a year. And if you're investing in my stuff, then you're letting our curriculum do the bulk of the heavy lifting as far as the work goes, because you have a proven curriculum. So you just get to do the fun stuff, which is deliver the results, be yourself, shine, deal with the sticky moments that come up with clients inevitably during retreats, and watch them leave. This was me. After a retreat, I started with, now we own a retreat center. So things have evolved over time. But originally I was like, the easier it is, the better. I love simplicity. So I would literally rent an Airbnb, and I'd put everybody, including myself, in the same house. And we'd all have breakfast together, lunch together. I mean, it was so sacred. And I remember at the end of those events, like crazy, amazing things would happen. At the end of every event, they'd all, the last person would walk out the door, and I would sit in that Airbnb for a moment, just basking in it. And I would cry, just gratitude, because it was like all my kids were going off to college. And I was like, go be, I love you. It was just so beautiful. So it's so rewarding. For those of you who have done retreats, it's awesome. It's great. It's really great. Now, for those of you who are like, well, I want more results. Well, then you're going to do more presentations. That's pretty easy, right? The harder I work, the more that I show, the more I do more presentations. I also, by the way, a part of my income streams that I give y'all is I do the presentation as well for you. So you can have completely hands-free income like within 5-6 months of joining my program, which is really cool. But you guys you're here because you want to serve people. You're not just wanting to like make money and, do it off of authentic living. You also want to like serve. But I just want you to know that's possible. But if you're like, well, I want more results, you're going to do more presentations, right? My authentic creation presentation was running every day without me. Thank God for technology. And so it was always bringing in new folks. I didn't even have to think about it. That's great. But you might do live presentations. You might do pre-recorded. It's up to you. If you want to also have more results, you'll use our marketing strategies to get more people. Your marketing strategies are everything. You can have the most incredible curriculum. I've seen some amazing coaches, because they suck at marketing or they won't put themselves out there or whatever. It's like your gift dies with you. No. Be seen. Ugh. And approach number 3, use multiple business models. Have multiple income streams for more results, right? Do all the different things. And you should try them all out. You'll find the ones that you love. You'll find the ones that you're called to at different times in your life. You'll find the ones that you're just naturally really good at. Play with it. And I remember my first, what was it? It was my first, I still forget what 7 and 8 and 9. My first 7 figures. So my first $1 million that I made was just 3 business models. I had one-on-ones, which I actually really rarely did, because that was the point where I was really starting to stretch into events. I did group programs, so I was doing, retreats and events and so forth. And then I had just a couple digital programs that were running on like bare minimum ads at the time. Or no, maybe it was just warm No, we hadn't. I don't think we started ads. Sorry, I can't remember. But digital programs. And then to 8 figures, when I jumped from 7 to 8 figures, we just got good at getting more people in the room. The whole thing didn't have to change. It wasn't like astronomically different. I just got more people in the room. I did more presentations and I added more business models, more income streams, basically, is what I'm saying. So, can you see the potential here? Whoa, whoa, right? And I think, I'm not saying that every coach ends up being this wildly successful coach, but you can live an incredible and beautiful life as a life coach on your own terms, doing what you want and serving in the process. Entrepreneurship is awesome in general, but when you get to do what you're here to do as you experience that freedom, that's next level. I remember talking to a business coach a couple years ago, and I was to be totally honest, I was a little bored. And I was like, I don't know, I'm just having this like identity thing. Like, am I just who am I now for my business? It's just running and blah blah blah, and it's just making all this money and like, I've built all these income streams and systems, and he's like, you kind of have like the dream problem. Where's the problem? Like, I'm kind of confused. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm just a mountain goat and I like to climb a lot. So that occurs sometimes. But there's just so much beautiful potential. So I want to journal this out really fast. Okay. Even if you got a little triggered on some of that, you don't feel like, ooh, I don't know. Let's open up our hearts. Which part of our brain are we in? I would like for you to think about which business model are you most excited about? Which income stream? What thing do you want to do? Even if you're like, I don't know how to do retreats yet, but that would be, it just feels cool. Which one could you see yourself, even if it's in the future, doing? Take just like 3-ish, 5-ish minutes here. Go ahead and write that down. Let's stamp it in, throw it in the chat box. Okay. I'll see you guys back here soon. All right, come on back, y'all. Welcome back. We still have more pillars to get over. Pillar number 4, your marketing. How you attract your audience. Good old marketing. Good old marketing. Who here is like, marketing scares me. I don't understand it. What does it even mean? Yeah, I totally get that. Totally get that. That was me. I was like, I don't even know what this means. What's the difference between marketing and sales? Like, huh? My biggest aha is that the best type of marketing, okay, this is what I call transformational marketing. You guys have heard me say this word a couple times. My biggest aha when it came to marketing is that the best type is helping others right off the bat. Creating marketing that educates others. It creates a transformation for them before they even spend a dime with you. That's transformational marketing. That is what I'm doing right now for y'all. I'm giving 5 days of my life to you, whether you are going to buy or not, right? That is, I think, just something that creates good faith. It lets me live in my own integrity personally. And you're going to feel good about it. But not only that, it literally makes the process easier for you. Because you're leaving your audience better off than you found them, even if they don't pay you. And that's one of my rules in life. You leave everybody better off than you find them. If you do that in life, in general, I think you're in a good place. I think that's good karma. So instead of convincing them you can help them by selling yourself in your marketing, you're convincing them you can help them by actually helping them in your marketing. Go freaking figure. And I know some people are like, no, don't tell them anything. They need to pay for every ounce of information. That's kind of scarcity. I don't like that. I get it. People have to pay attention, right? Or people pay, if they pay attention. That's sane. I love it. True. I've scholarshiped many people, and I would say it's just the weirdest thing. They don't typically get the same results when they're scholarshiped. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird thing. But when you actually help them, they go, you helped me and I haven't even paid. You don't even know who I am because I read your post, because I saw your video or whatever. Imagine if I did. And again, I feel just a lot more in alignment, right? You're still offering free assistance, but again, people pay, they pay attention. So it's a weird law of transformation, I guess, that I've noticed. I'll talk about that a little bit more on day 4. So transformational marketing isn't about selling. It's not at all. It's about educating. It's about building relationships. The goal is that prospects, potential clients, souls you can serve will see you as the trusted guide who truly understands them. That's why you must be authentic. Because you can have the best, there are people who have great marketing and they're not that good at actually like results. You get in the program, you're like, whoa, what the heck? This wasn't what I was anticipating, right? It's not just great marketing alone. Your authenticity needs to shine through. They need to know what they're going to get, right? But that's the beauty of transformational marketing, is you are a trusted guide who truly understands their pain and promise. Now, most people market to others by convincing others right away to buy from them. Instead, you're going to do what I call the right thing, and you're going to transform them. When prospects experience value first, the brain's reward system, dopamine, is going to release. And it's literally going to reinforce trust and readiness to buy. Okay? And pillar number 5, your enrollment process. How do you convert interest into commitment? Right? The sticky spot. Now, as you saw when I did the whole presentation thing, this is absolutely where people drop off, right? Just because you invited 10 people, don't be offended that all 10 of them don't invest in you. Some of them need more time. Some of them are still really scared. Some of them aren't ready to change their life. That's okay. But the ones who are going to move forward. So you want to remove any obstacles that are unnecessary along the way so that you can serve them, so you can do your purpose, right? So the enrollment process, as people call it, is where trust turns into commitment. So your goal during that is to educate people and nurture their decision naturally. Okay? You're not convincing. You should not convince. You should not pressure. You should not be icky. Now, you may have rules around what icky is that you need to break, because it is wonderful to be confident about the results you can produce and to lovingly guide someone. Because if you are a coach, you better be able to push people in the right direction, right? But you're not going to be like, hey, take out a second mortgage and like, ew, right? Don't do that. But let them make their own choices in those regards. But you're going to offer a strategic free session, a strategy call, a discovery call, a clarity call, where you are listening. You're probably going to be doing this yourself at first. It's great to have sales teams and it's great to have enrollment teams. For me, I have success advisors because I believe we are an academy and I'm a little picky. So I want people who are like enrollment counselors instead of salespeople. But regardless, you're probably going to have those first calls. So you need to listen deeply, deeply. You need to identify their pain points. You need to know what is truly stopping them so that you can make sure you've got the result, right? You got the solution. And then you're going to show how your coaching is the solution. My enrollment counselors, the success advisors that many of you are going to speak to, they know their job is to see if my program is the best option for someone, which means, yes, sometimes people are turned away because that's the right thing to do. And I just believe, again, in good karma. So if you hold yourself to that, then you don't have to worry about feeling icky. You don't have to worry about all of these things that sit in your mind, of all these false blocks that you have, because you're simply not that person. Same thing with money. When people are like, I'm afraid money will make me evil, or what? Money makes people more of what they are, period. It's an amplifier. But when you're talking to these people, make sure you are totally present with them. When someone feels heard and understood, the prefrontal cortex lights up. It literally activates rational decision making. You are helping them get into their neo-cortex. You're reducing the unnecessary resistance, because if they make a decision from fight or flight and they live in a life of pain after that, wouldn't that suck if you could have or should have moved them forward so that they could go and like live an incredible life or save their children from some experience that they were going through? I remember working with this one woman, and she joined our program under an alias name. And eventually, it's a beautiful story, don't worry. Eventually, we've figured out her real name and stuff. But when she joined, she was on the run from her ex, who had attempted to kill her and her children. Now, one, incredible that she was showing up to a program. She knew, I need help. I need to stop. I'm doing something for me for a moment, right? But she was able to get out of her fight or flight so much that she started making better and better decisions. And then she went on to get her children protected from that particular individual. And now I sent her first house plan. And now she's, living in a beautiful apartment, and things are great. And she became a coach of mine, like just wonderful stuff. So anyway, long story short, we want to reduce unnecessary resistance because there might be somebody we drastically need to help. And y'all know kids are my triggers. So if there's children involved too, like I'm in on it, right? We got to make sure that they are doing the damn thing. But you got to be good at listening and understanding, or you can't help them, right? That is an absolute skill of a coach. You need to be able to hear what they aren't saying. Does that make sense? Because they don't know what they're saying. They're giving you the gold of what's really going on. When people are like, I don't know why I'm saying this, you're like, I know. You feel safe. This is really good. I promise we're on the right track, because you're in coaching mode, right? And you're helping them. So framing your enrollment as a collaborative coaching conversation rather than a sales pitch, even just in your own mind, where you remember, that's what I'm doing. This is a mutual fit. If we're building a lifestyle that we love, we don't want clients we don't want, right? I don't want your money. I don't want the headache, right? I want people who are willing. Our biggest thing in authentic living is we work on people who work on themselves. And I think that should be yours too. Life coaching is beautiful in that sense, because that's what we do in coaching. We work on ourselves, right? So anyways, but framing that in that way helps you also chill out. But it's also going to decrease brain defense responses. So it's making them more open. And honestly, it better be that way, right? Because you'll meet people who aren't ready for transformation. Or maybe they need a different service. Maybe they need to be in therapy over coaching. And it's kind of your responsibility to know your limitations and eventually theirs as well, so that you can truly guide them towards what's best in life. And then just trust that it'll come back around. The universe will take care of it. So think of your enrollment session as a bridge, okay? It's connecting their current state to their future self. And your coaching is the pathway. Okay. So I'm going to share with you my client attraction process. Of course, I have a few, but let's keep it simple. This is what a coach would typically do. You attract clients, you enroll clients, you coach clients. Da, 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 right? But here in Authentic Living, we do transformational marketing to attract clients. We use strategy sessions, aka your first coaching call is how you're going to enroll. And then you use our curriculum to coach them through it, to get them the result, to move them through and make sure they get what they paid for. Right? That makes sense. Okay. You guys can take a quick screenshot of that and then we'll pull it off the screen. Good, good. Now, I want to reinforce this really quick. Building a successful coaching business isn't just about techniques, okay? Again, embodiment is everything. It's everything. It is about aligning mindset, aligning systems, and aligning strategies that resonate for you, okay? When these 5 pillars, all 5 we just talked about, when they are solid, they form a strong and very resilient structure. Your personalized blueprint to serve clients at the highest level. That should be your intention. So going back to our home that we just built, picture these pillars as the support beams. They're holding up your dream house. So without even one, the house could collapse, right? It's unstable. We need all 5. So the secret, if you had to call it that, to a thriving coaching business is to integrate all of these, right? We need to integrate all 5 pillars intentionally. We need to bring our authentic self to the table. We need some strategic planning. We need heartfelt marketing, and all of that needs to be in harmonious alignment. Now, you can do that yourself, like I said. For those of you who are just going to take these 5 days and run with it, now you know that's what you need. You're going to have to go and find all of those pillars or build those pillars. So now that the foundation is laid, I want to share something kind of personal with y'all. When I realized that I was going to give it a true and genuine whack, right? There was times where I thought I would attempt to do my purpose, attempt to figure it out, attempt, whatever. But I was really like, I'm still totally going to hide for a while. Like, this is just what I'm going to do. I'm going to live in a couple more years of pain until I hit my basement, because I wasn't quite there yet, I suppose. But give like a genuine whack at fulfilling my purpose, it did require a pretty big leap of faith. I had fear. Okay. I had plenty of fear. And for me, just me, I realized that I had to leave. Well, everyone should do this, obviously. I had to leave an abusive relationship. I needed to leave my secure job. I had to leave the state of Florida. I needed to start sorting out my programming to step into my purpose. And I remember being so afraid and so unbelievably excited. Because it's not like the fear wasn't there, but I was so excited. My why was bigger. It was finally bigger. And I didn't have the support of anyone except for Oliver. Thankfully, that was enough. That was enough for me to be like, all right, one person in my entire world believes in me right now. All right, I can riff off of that, right? So when I was ready to jump in, and I tell this story a lot, one of my family members, God bless her, love her, love her, love her. You are an idiot. You're leaving your job, Mandy. You're dropping out of your PhD to chase a dream. How are you going to pay your bills? How will you live? And I was like, I'm going to couch surf if I have to. The Peace Corps was 6 months away. I had just enough money that I felt like I could pay my car insurance, I could pay my car bill, and I could buy food for 6 months. And I was like, I'll couch surf. And if it's 6 months, I haven't done anything, but I'm going all in. But if in 6 months I haven't made this work, I'll join the Peace Corps, because then I'll feel like, okay, I'm still fulfilling what I promised, a couple weeks back that I would do for God. Like I'm doing it, right? Stressed her even more. She was like, you're going to couch surf? But hey, now when that particular family member visits me, she goes, thank God you didn't listen to me, eh? And we joke about it. And then like she'll come over and we'll talk and stuff. And she's like, so how much do I owe you? Because I'm always coaching her through something. And so talk about like a fear of hers that was trying to breathe through me. And yes, I can coach my family members now. That's really cool. At least the ones who are willing. But sometimes we just can't listen to the other stuff. And that doesn't mean I wasn't afraid. I felt the fear and I did it anyway. And there were people I could help then, and there are far more people I can help now. And then when I went to my boss, I loved this woman. I hope she's somewhere wonderful in her life right now. But when I went to my boss to quit, she told me something I will never, ever, ever forget. The way she said it too. She was, because no one believed in me. Nobody believed in me. And she's like, Mandy, you're taking this huge jump. You have no assurance. You need to settle. Just settle. Settle, settle, settle. That's what she said to me 3 times. And each settle was like, settle, settle, settle. Stay small, settle in life. That's all I was hearing was just keep settling in life. And I didn't think I was an entrepreneur. Like there's a part of me that was like, maybe I can just, hold on to this job for a little bit longer. Because I was an achiever in my job, but entrepreneurship felt like a different world. Totally different world. And when I met Oliver, my now husband back then, he gave me the system, at least some of the system. Obviously, I've built many since then, but he gave me the system that I share with my coaches now. I didn't even need to be a business person to get started. I just needed to have a system to prove that I was there to serve. So all this to say, stars don't always align magically. It's really cool when they do. For those of you who want signs and synchronicities, ask for them if this is the right next step for you. But you're here, so you already kind of got your sign. But you are the creator of your reality. I don't care what someone says, even if they know you in and out. They don't know the version of you you're going to become. Period. Okay, so now I want to do a powerful meditation with you, help you really tap into what's important. So you can make the decision that's going to move you forward in your purpose work. Because now we're in day 3. This is about taking action. This is about us understanding that in order to get to a lifestyle and a business that we love and living and breathing our purpose every day, we do have to take action in some way. Could be with me, could be with something else. I hope it's with me selfishly, or regardless of how you do it. You have to take action to shine your light. Okay? All right. Go ahead and close your eyes. I'll get myself into state. We're going to do a beautiful, juicy meditation. Serve highest good will. Close your eyes if you haven't yet. And let's take a deep, juicy, grounding breath. And as you breathe out, allow for yourself to settle into this moment. That's the only settling we'll be doing today. There's a truth I want you to carry with you. This is the moment. Right here, right now. Because what if the last day you're on earth, the person you became meets the person that you could have become? And I want you to imagine that meeting for a moment. Picture one version. The version of you that had been waiting, hidden behind doubt, hiding behind fear. Maybe they're quiet. Maybe they're loud, but they are there. And what side of the coin are you on? Now picture this. Today is your opportunity to close the gap between who you are and who you know you're meant to be. And it's okay if you don't humanistically understand that version. I wouldn't expect you to. But I know you have felt it at some point, even for just a split second in the past few days. Waking up to who you're meant to be. Waking up to your purpose. Not waiting for everything to be perfect because we know that day will never come. But starting today with what you have and where you are. And every moment you hesitate, And every second you hold back out of doubt or fear is a moment stolen from the person you can become. That is a shift taken away from a soul you are meant to serve. Today, we choose courage over comfort. Today, we choose to step into greatness. Because when you look back someday, I want you to be able to say, I gave it everything. And the only way to do that is to take one brave, illuminated step, and then another, and then another. Because your higher self has already left you breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs for you to follow right back to your purpose. Feel that possibility. Feel that expansion. Doesn't your energy feel like it's exploding all over? It's not small and contained. Imagine what's possible for your life as a coach. The lives you can touch, the souls you can save, the impact you can create. Waking up in the morning with a space filled with peace and with purpose. Picture yourself holding space for someone who's been on the brink of giving up. They're desperate, they're in pain, and they feel lost. But because of your voice, your presence and your essence, your coaching, they find light, they find love, they find hope again. Feel it. Feel that profound gratitude that would sit in their eyes, the deep relief in their breath as they realize they're not alone. This is the power of what you can do. And now, see how this impacts your own life. The income flowing in, not just for your security, that need is beyond taken care of. But you receive abundantly because your work is making a difference. And with that income, see beyond yourself if you can. Picture yourself donating to charity, feeding the hungry, saving children, building homes, creating scholarships, supporting causes that light your heart on fire, taking care of your family, whatever feels right to continue the cycle of abundance. Feel that rippling impact. Every dollar you earn becomes a tool for love and change in the world. It's not just money. It's the fuel for your mission to serve, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. See your loved ones in your mind. You're helping them, providing for their dreams, paving a better future, creating a life where abundance supports love, kindness, generosity. Imagine gifting your children or your family or your community with opportunities, dreams fulfilled because you chose to step up and serve. And I want you to know this deep in your heart. Becoming a life coach isn't just a choice. It's your duty. It is the calling that has been whispering to you for far too long, nudging you along the path that leads to your most authentic and purpose-driven life. And without any heaviness, This is your responsibility. Not just to yourself, but to the world. Because the world desperately needs what you have inside. Your gifts, your story, your light. And unfortunately, the more you hide, the more lives that stay in darkness too. In pain and in separation. But the moment you step fully in your power, you jump to a different dimension, you move to a new timeline, you illuminate others. And in doing so, you heal yourself, you heal others, you heal the world. Living on purpose isn't only about fulfillment or happiness. Those are just great byproducts. It's about contribution. It is about recognizing that your unique role here is to serve, to answer a higher calling, to help your fellow humanity. We are all in this together, and some of us are further along than others, and I personally feel it is our duty to bring others with us. And what greater service than empowering them to bring others with them next? Helping someone find hope when they've lost it, helping a family rebuild, helping a soul find their worth again. And here's the truth I have come to know. What you earn from this purpose is a sacred gift, because it's a reflection of your impact. It is proof that your work is changing lives, maybe saving lives, and uplifting the consciousness of the planet. The more clients who say yes to you, the more struggles you lift, the more light you ignite, the more you are fulfilling your divine destiny. There is no shame in earning great wealth as a great coach. In fact, there's immense pride. Pride in knowing that you are valued and you are appreciated, and that your abundance is a testament to your service. And I want you to own this. You have a divine role to play. It's the universe's way of affirming that you are living your purpose, fulfilling your highest calling, truly making a difference. So get excited about the aspects it offers without shame. Celebrate it. Your wealth, your acknowledgments, and your service is your legacy. It's your reward for stepping forth and doing what most are unwilling to do. And feel that truth sinking deeper and deeper into your soul. I am here to serve. My service does not have to be painful. I don't have to suffer to serve. I am here to create abundance of all kinds because I am living my divine purpose. And with every breath, I want you to feel a new and unstoppable sense of pride, of gratitude, and divine duty. You're not just earning a living. It's so much bigger than that. You are fulfilling a sacred mission. You are a beacon of hope for humanity. You are a healer of wounds. You are the catalyst for the greatest transformations in this world. Open your heart, take it in. Carry the truth forward. You are needed. Your purpose is beyond clear right now. And the impact you are here to create is nothing short of divine. Now repeat after me. I am here to serve. I am here to make a difference. I'm here because the world needs my gifts, my story, and my heart. Every life I touch is a sacred act of love. And the more lives I impact, the more I embody my highest purpose. My abundance is a reflection of my service. And I celebrate the wealth I create because it fuels my mission to transform more lives. I am worthy of great wealth because I am worthy of great impact. I step into my divine power with pride, knowing that my greatest legacy is the lives I help heal and uplift. Today, I claim my purpose. Today, I embrace my abundance. And today, I know I am exactly who this world has been waiting for. Remember, your work is sacred. Your journey is holy. And your impact is forever. Now take a final deep breath. Feel yourself as you answer the calling. And come on back. You can go ahead and start throwing the experience in the chats. Maybe writing something down that came to you. Ah, yeah. All right. Welcome back. I see eyes opening. Okay. So I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, but to date, in our 3 days so far together, you've learned more than most when it comes to becoming a life coach. You've embraced more than maybe you ever have in pursuing your purpose. Give yourself some credit here. Pat yourself on the back. You have come so far. And we're just on day 3. Woo! We're just on day 3. So as y'all marinate on that juiciness, a lot of you since day 1 have been asking me, how do I join the life coaching certification program? I love that you guys are so hot to trot and you have no details. I am honored that you are interested in my program. My goal, though, first is to give you as much value as I can over these 5 days, so your life is never the same after. I want to inspire you to shine your light, to take the next step in your journey, whatever that may be. And for those of you who are interested in continuing with me, I want to play a quick little trailer. Sometimes it's a little bit of a tearjerker. I know many of us are already, the tears are going. I see that in the chats. But I want to give you an idea and a feeling of what the program is like and what it can do for you. I'll see you as soon as it's over. So you're thinking about joining the program, and I'm here to lovingly shove you towards it. It is such an incredible program. It's personal growth.
It's learning how to serve others and ultimately to serve the world. I've seen that when people embody unconditional love, which is really at the foundation of this program, amazing things happen. Results happen so quickly for clients or patients or family members, and you're growing through that process too. You have the tools that give you the confidence to go forth into the world. You realize that you are so worthy of receiving for your gifts.
Mandy embodies authenticity. For me, I want to follow somebody who models what this is all about. It keeps me going on my path when I can see someone who really lives this way and how wonderful it can be. It encourages me that I can live that way too. I think it's a combination of depth and breadth with Mandy. What I really appreciated is all of the science behind the methodology, the neuroscience, how the brain functions. So there is absolutely a scientific component to why this methodology helps people shift, why it helps them shift maybe quicker than other modalities. I also think the unique piece is the energetic component. You get such an integrated experience in a short period of time where you can truly be up and running and coaching, within 8 to 10 weeks of learning the framework.
New beginning. Shine a light, don't shy away. You got more than it takes, you know.
You're on the fence about the program. What we'll say as soon as you jump into the program is light versus heavy, love versus fear. If you can make that decision from a place that feels light, that's not coming from fear. And let me tell you right now, I had all of those fears, thinking that who am I to serve the world? What do I know? What do I have to give? I'm an unfinished masterpiece myself.
Are you ready to shift yourself? Because you got to do that first before you shift anybody else. If you're not ready to shift yourself, then the timing isn't right. That's what I would say. It's affected my friendships, my parenting in a positive way, how I approach my work on a daily basis. I can't even separate it now. These models and these ideas are such a part of me, and they're driving how I live my life. It's just in me now, and that's incredible.
Something really amazing happens when you realize that you've healed. You don't have things to go back into. Your limiting beliefs start dwindling away. You reach pure potential. You realize that life can look completely different than it does now. And the beautiful thing about embodiment is that you give that to others. And in case no one has told you today, I love you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So people don't know this. That tagline, I know I say it all the time, and in case no one has told you today, I love you. That comes from 10 years ago. I remember having this just epiphany in a moment where I realized I hadn't loved myself for so long. It was the first thing that I took away from myself. And all of a sudden, all this love kind of came rushing back to me as I was embracing my authenticity and finding out that I actually liked who I was. And I made a video. If you scroll super far down on my Facebook business page, you will see it. You will see it was 10 years ago. I may have reposted it at some point since then. And I'm sitting in my little apartment once I had some furniture in there. And I was like, this is a public service announcement. Where was I when we decided that we weren't worthy? Where was I when we decided that we didn't deserve love? And I was riffing off on something. And I decided from that day forward, even if someone wouldn't receive it, that I would tell people that I love them, because some people hadn't heard it in months and months. So just, that's why I say it. Even though some people are like, you don't love me. There's no way. It's not possible. I remember one of my eventual coaches coming to an event. He's like, I hate that you say that. Like, that's a bunch of BS. And I love when people bring their true self to the party. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, how like, love is such a sacred thing. And you're just throwing it around willy-nilly. I was like, I'm not, though. I really mean it. But I look forward to the day that you feel like you can say it to anybody and you mean it too. 2 days later, he goes, Mandy, I got something to tell you. I was like, what? He goes, I love you. And I was like, 2 days, man. All right. And then he went on to become a coach. So, hey, teach their own. Okay, so any hoodle doodle. I want to take a moment to acknowledge each one of you right here, right now, because you have been showing up for 3 days. And I think sometimes we just don't celebrate ourselves enough. We don't remember what we've gone through, what we've chosen, what we've experienced, just being here in general. So I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge all the different people that I've seen in the groups, because in some way, shape, or form, I think I put on the hat that you wear, or I've been through something similar. And I know those parts of me really needed acknowledgement. So first, to my healers out there, my healers turned coach, or maybe eventually turn a coach. I want to honor those of you who are already healers in some way. Maybe you're a literal energy healing practitioner. Maybe you're a yoga teacher. Maybe you're a breathwork coach. Maybe you have been holding space for others in your community for years. You have been giving so much of yourself, probably without recognition sometimes, maybe without structure, maybe without financial return. I see you. You already have the heart and you have a gift. And you're probably here because you know it's time to expand, to put a framework behind your intuition, to step into your role, not just as a healer, but as a coach, as a guide, a leader who can serve at a greater level. And this program was built to give you the legitimacy and the tools so you can keep doing what you love while building a beautiful, sustainable, and thriving career out of it. And I will say, people who are either natural or trained healers, when they combine coaching, unstoppable, because sometimes the block sits where? Our mind. So we need to coach through it. Our emotions. So we need to coach through it. Or energy. So we need to heal through it. And to my caregivers out there, my educators, I know I attract a lot of folks who are teachers, nurses, caregivers, counselors. I want to acknowledge y'all, the ones who've always been the rock for others. People already come to you for comfort, for advice, for a listening ear, and you have carried others' burdens more than you probably know. You have transmuted more than you realize. It may even sit inside your own body because you just transmute so much of people's pain. You sat there and you've celebrated their wins, probably quietly in the background. I see your heart. And I know that while you've been pouring into others, sometimes you may have felt unseen or unfulfilled in your own journey. This is your chance to take the skills you already have, your ability to nurture and to guide and to teach and channel them into coaching, where your natural gifts don't just serve others, but they also fill your cup. And they create freedom and recognition that I personally think you have always deserved. And for my folks who are in the midst of a transition, I want to celebrate those of you who are in a season of change. You are reinventing yourself. Maybe you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s. I know we just had a wonderful psychiatrist who is 72 join in one of my programs. And maybe you're wondering if it's too late to start something new. Some of you have raised families, you've already changed careers, or you've walked through incredible, incredible life shifts. And now you're feeling that pull to do something more purposeful. Let me be clear. It is not too late. In fact, honestly, that wisdom, that life experience, your scars and triumphs, those are your greatest assets. And I see you. And I honor the courage it takes to reinvent yourself. I remember that. This program was designed for you too, to turn your decades of experience into a powerful coaching practice that shows the world that your story is still being written. And your best chapter might just be the one you're starting right now. And the burned out professional. Whew. I want to acknowledge those of you who have spent years in corporate jobs, running businesses, working hard in careers that may look successful on paper, but inside you're drained, you're stuck, you are unfulfilled now. You've achieved It looks good. You've worked hard, but deep down, you know that you are made for more than just a paycheck. You want freedom. That is a feeling. That is an energy. You want purpose. You want to wake up excited again. I see you. And I know the fear that comes with leaving the safe path. That's why this program exists, to give you a proven structure to transition from burnout to alignment, to take the skills you already have, channel those into coaching, and that's where passion and purpose create abundance. And I think to probably most of us, in some way, shape, or form, I want to acknowledge the survivors in this room. Those of you that have walked through traumas, through illness, through massive heartbreak, through loss, through financial struggles, you are the ones who wondered if you would make it through, and yet here the fuck you are. Still standing, still fighting, still showing up. Showing up here is totally showing up. Your scars are not your shame. They are your superpower. Promise you that. And what if the very thing you thought disqualified you is the exact thing that makes you the most qualified to guide others? I see you. And I honor the courage it takes to turn pain into purpose. This certification is the bridge between your story and your legacy, so that what you want and what you went through doesn't just stop with you, but becomes the light for others who are still in the dark. Wherever y'all are on your journey, whether you have been a healer, a caregiver, a professional, a survivor, or someone reinventing your life, I want you to know that the information I've shared here is something that can help you further your purpose, whatever your purpose is. This program was not built for some ideal version of you. It was built for the real you, the one who is here today, ready to take the next step. And together, we will take the breakthroughs you've had in these past 3 days, turn them into a coaching practice that changes lives, starting with your own, of course. And if you resonate with my work so far, I think it's time to make the jump. So I want to remind you all to invite yourselves. I want you to call. I want you to go to this website. I want you to experience this. It might not be 60 minutes. I know it says 60 minutes here, give or take. Have a life coaching career planning call with a success advisor. See if continuing to work with me, if you have resonated with me, this is what we do. This is not the version of me that I was 15 years ago. I became this through the work in which I teach. So if you resonate with me, this is where it leads, is a beautiful life of purpose. I think, I'm not a billionaire, not yet. I will be, I think. I really do. And if it's not in the stars, I'm cool with it. But the billionaires that come to me, you'd think, why are they coming to if they've got more than you have financially, whatever, they go, Mandy, you have it all. You have the marriage, you have the kids, you have the health, you have the happiness, you have light in you. Yes, you have, wonderful abundance too. Well-rounded abundance, authentic abundance. So this is for you if you're looking for your authentic abundance. This is for you if you are looking to be certified as a life coach. If you're looking for proven curriculum, you want to get results, and you would love done for you materials. We're talking about getting results faster. Who doesn't want done for you, right? I'm all about it. And if you'd like a coaching program, curriculum, and transformational content done for you, this would also be for you. It's great to be able to leverage the work of someone that you resonate with. Don't let your ego come in and say, I have to build it all myself. I can't take Mandy's stuff. No, we're in this together. What if our souls shook hands before this life and it was like, here's how we'll do our purpose together, right? Let all the rest kind of melt away. You'll get the curriculum, you get certified, become a life coach who can create instant and lasting transformation. And depending on what you rock with, you have coaching curriculum for actually over 12 months. We have one for 12 months. We have one for 6 weeks. We have another one for 60 days. but you have the ability to serve people greatly and deeply for quite some time. We've got 90-day business and marketing plans done for you. I've heard people say, like, I tried a business program and it was really fluffy, but it didn't take me anywhere. I'm making sure that we're giving you the things that you need. Not only that, but we also have virtual events plopped in between our business trainings. And I'm pulling my husband in. Like it or not, he's doing it. He'll love it. He'll love it. And he is so good at getting people to take massive amounts of action and get results on the spot. Even if they don't have crazy amounts of business experience, doesn't matter. Wouldn't that be awesome? And done for you marketing templates. Yes, we have templates, transformational content. We have the transformational, everything that I told you you need. Again, you can take that and go, okay, Mandy said I need presentation, content, curriculum. Okay, I'm going to go build all of that. I'll see you in a couple of years. I'll see you in 6 months. I'll see you in whenever you start creating all that stuff. Or if you resonate with my work so far and you're like, yeah, let me utilize that and then breathe my authenticity into it, then this would totally be for you. And I've got 5 different business models that you can install in your business, each one coming along with curriculum. So you can scale your income while you scale your impact. That just, yeah, right? And then, yes, we do need it. We need a step-by-step enrollment structure. Eventually, you'll throw it out because you'll be like, I know what I'm doing. I'm good. But to ease those little jitters and stuff, we've got all of that too. So a proven way to convert interest into folks who are ready to invest in themselves, and it doesn't feel icky. It doesn't feel salesy. We've got scripts, so you can go verbatim. But again, your authenticity is going to show up. Eventually, you won't need it. And we decided to throw in a done-for-you EME coaching website. It's a fill-in-the-blank for all the templates. So you'll have a website. You'll have more than I had just getting started. I didn't have a website when I made my first 30K. But it's great to have. And that's also where your folks will sign up for any programs if you choose one of those income streams where we give you programs, basically, and you just make money while you sleep. You can do that too. And I know I'm not explaining all this in full detail because the success advisors are there to answer some of these questions. So again, go to that website, www.authenticliving.com/coach. Cool. This time we didn't break the system. They were ready for us, so it didn't crash. So we're good this time around. But I know a lot of you, the team always tells me the numbers, a lot of y'all had booked yesterday already. So if you are going to make sure you make the call, respect my success advisor's time, and you're going to show up to it to explore this more, then book that call sooner than later because it's a first come, first serve basis. Alrighty? This is all about getting clear on your vision, knowing what you need. Okay? So again, you'll go to this website here. We still have 2 more days of magic. Don't worry. There's no pressure if you're like, I still want to see. You might be someone who moves a little bit more slowly. That's totally cool. Nothing wrong with that. All righty. I see everyone writing it down. We'll throw it in the chat box as well. And as always, if it's not a fit, we will very lovingly won't be like, you're rejected. Your application was denied. No. We'll be like, hey, here's where I think you should start. That's okay too. Sometimes people end up on my husband's side of the house instead. They're like, actually, I realize I'm a healer. I'm going to go into energy. That's fine too. They can talk about all the things, all the different things. And some of our success advisors are coaches. They are certified in our methodologies. They've gone through some of our programs, if not all. Some of them have gone through every single program we have, which is like 6 different certifications. They run their own businesses on the side. Some of them are therapists. Like, they're lots of different beautiful walks of life. So they're wonderful human beings. They really, really are. Cool. Okay. So as a reminder, enrollment is only open until next week because we do have a class starting soon. So get those calls in as soon as you can. We'll make sure that it all works out for everybody who is serious. We'll keep playing around with everyone's calendars and so forth. But I do want to invite you to that. Okay. Now, we've seen, I think, the link enough times. We feel good about that. my team was going over some more of the chats. So I wanted to address some typical questions, again, not specific always to the programs, but just in general, because we're still dealing with our mind when it comes to shining our light. So I just want to share these really quickly, okay? What if I experience resistance? We haven't gotten to day 5 yet, which is my second favorite day of the 5 days. But as a reminder, resistance equals gold. Okay, just like fear and failure and all that stuff are just feedback. Resistance is actually gold. We're on the cusp of something magical. So I want you guys to remember, anytime that you will inevitably see this in your clients, when they start having resistance, whether it's resistance to the shift, resistance to investing in themselves, whatever it is, it's gold. It's a good thing. It shows we're on the right track. It's not there to sabotage unless we allow it. Resistance is showing us something beautiful. We need to lean into it and understand it, okay? Now, this is a weird fear that pops up sometimes. Sometimes people aren't afraid of the fear of failure. They are fearing success. I'll be successful and then I will lose everything. Or something weird will happen in that. What if I lose everything after achieving success, right? I make it to the top and then I go crashing and burning. I want you to know that fears of losing everything, losing your family, losing your whatever, that's like oddly natural. It's a really weird thing that we kind of all go through at some point in our journey of building towards a greater life, of shining our light and not being what everybody else wanted us to be unconsciously. We're like, oh man, I think my authentic self is quite a bit different than the version I've been showing up as. I don't know if they're going to like that. But that's normal, but that doesn't define your worth. Because success isn't about holding on to things. We don't need to white knuckle stuff. It's about trusting that you're supported by the universe. That's what success truly is. That's, again, why people, I think, come to me. Sure, I have the financial success component, but it's about this faith that probably permeates off of me. That I know, like, God, universe, higher powers got my back. I have a foundation underneath me. I'm a rock solid person to hang out with. It feels good to be around me, right? How nice is it when you get to be that person for yourself too? And when you focus on your inner worth and aligning with love, you're going to find that even perceivable loss transforms into growth. It brings more magic. It's a season. Harvesting season ends, and then you got to plant seeds. So remember, even if you face setbacks, you are resilient. And you are connected to a divine source that always has your back. And just as a reminder, you will have built an incredible foundation under you. So you might take a few steps back, but I don't see a huge loss. Maybe a cha-cha. Another one is, how do I overcome feelings of unworthiness or guilt about success? Because sometimes, again, we're not afraid of failure. We're afraid of, what if it comes too fast, right? Self-sabotage if it shows up too quickly. I want you to recognize that those feelings of unworthiness are old stories. What part of our brain are we in? Is it trying to keep us small? You are inherently worthy. You were born worthy. There is no amount of success or wealth or lack of that changes that. So you need to practice affirming your divine worth daily, which has nothing to do with what you do or what you don't do. Bring that unconditionally motherly love back into your heart. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do, what you don't do. I love you. I love you unconditionally. You deserve abundance simply because you exist. And maybe you need to say that to yourself. I am deserving of all the good things in life. That's the truth of it. That is the truth. If crappy people can have great things, well, then good people, I think, personal belief, they can have even more. And speaking of crappy people, our fear, what if success makes me selfish? What if it makes me disconnected from others? What if it makes me like someone I have seen who changed in a way I don't like, or they seem, icky or evil or whatever? Success is a reflection of your growth and contribution as a coach, at least. Money just makes people more of what they are. But when you're earning it through contribution, you're becoming even more beautiful. When you expand, you have more to give. I could not help the amount of people I helped today. I could not hold space for 30,000 people at a time if I wasn't also allowing the abundance to go both ways. I just simply could not. I would be drained. And I think some of you who do give in a way that makes you feel drained, is because you're not also receiving. You must receive as well. That is the flow of life. It is a cycle. It needs to come in and out, in and out, in and out. So when you expand, you also have more to give. True abundance isn't about taking from others. It's about sharing your gifts from a place of love. So trust that as you thrive, you can still be compassionate. You'll still be generous. You'll be more of it, honestly. You'll be more connected to yourself and to those that matter the most. Another one is, how can I handle my fears of change or maybe losing myself in the process? Change is a part of your divine evolution. You may grieve old versions of you, but you will lovingly bid them adieu. Remember that you're always becoming more of who you truly are. And most of that comes with you anyways. The fears of losing your identity, you're not losing who you are. You're losing old patterns. Whew, it feels good, actually. And you can choose to see them as opportunities for growth at the end of the day. So ground yourself in your purpose, ground yourself in your values, trust that your higher self is guiding you towards greater love and towards greater fulfillment, because it quite simply is. And another one is a really interesting one I've been seeing come up a lot is, I worry about my health, but I also want to tackle relationships in pursuing my dreams. Like, will I have to work so hard that my health will take a hit? I suffer chronically already. I can't handle all that. Or my relationships are already kind of funky. If I spend even more time on that, like, what type of parent will I be? What a great excuse, right? An excuse that we'll totally breathe life into. Your health and your relationships are sacred, though. You need to prioritize self-care and connection. It's a part of your journey. It's vital, absolutely vital. But you also trust that as you align with abundance, when you're aligning, everything that you need, health, support, love, that flows to you. And when doubts arise, you take a moment, you breathe, you affirm, I'm supported in every area of my life. Next, how do I stop feeling like I'm not enough or that I need more to be truly happy? That sensation of not enoughness, that's an old story. As I have said, my beautiful friend who is a child psychiatrist has said as well, every child thinks they are not worthy. Even if they have a wonderful upbringing, there's times in our lives where we go, we aren't enough. We simply aren't. And it's not true. The truth is, you are enough exactly as you are, whole, complete, deserving of love right now, yesterday, and every time in between. Because happiness isn't something that you attain and hold on to and white knuckle, and it's certainly not outside of yourself. It is a state that you cultivate from within. So we get to celebrate wherever we are today, and then we get to trust there's more abundance on the horizon. Okay? And you can ask yourself, what part of my brain am I in? When those thoughts arise, let's go to our higher self. What does our higher self have to say about that? What's their opinion? All righty. So your homework for today, to enter into potentially winning the Authentic Creation program. Every day we've chosen 3 winners. Today I want you to post in the Facebook group, what business model are you excited about? What do you see yourself doing? Sky is the limit. Dream big here. But what excites you right now, maybe a little bit down the road too? Cool? Day 4, tomorrow, we're going over the client attraction formula. How are we going to invite people into our work? How do we show people what we have to give? Alrighty, y'all. Thank you so much for showing up today. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful, magical day. As always, same time, same place. For my VIPs, hang tight here. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Thank you all so much. And in case no one has told you today, although I did already, I love you.